Anthony Pinto, with over 30 years in the automotive industry, Anthony Pinto has built Pinto Automotive Group into a trusted destination for car sales and service in Trenton and Mercer County, New Jersey. Starting from humble beginnings in detailing, he mastered every part of the business and is now known for his integrity, customer focus, and community commitment. Beyond the dealership, Anthony is passionate about fitness, personal growth, giving back locally, and spending time with family. Well, that's all. You got it all covered, man. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you for more advice for sure. You're fit. You got growth. You're giving back, and you love your family. That's just awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Story of a quality life.
What's that?
Story of a quality life.
Well, it's good you're balancing it out. So, give us a little idea of like your beginnings and how did you decide to do detailing and all that good stuff? What was that?
It's one of those things where in college I was always cleaning my car, and then neighbors asked me to clean cars for them, and then I opened up my place not too far from here, about 5 miles from here on Brunswick Avenue. It was just strictly detailing.
Okay.
Then I would park a few cars out there for sale. Got in trouble for doing that because I wasn't properly licensed. So I had to represent myself at City Hall to get the variance to do that and get a used car dealership license. I followed all the steps to do that, represented myself because I didn't have the money to hire an attorney, and I was able to get a used car variance to begin selling cars, and that started my journey on used car dealership.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're the original, like I forget what they call it, but not fix and flip, because basically you take a car that looks like it's trashed out, and you clean it up nice.
Yeah.
Same car.
Yeah.
And you clean it up, and you're like, oh, now it's nothing worth another couple $1,000 because it looks really nice.
Yeah, a lot of times, we get a lot of trade-ins that people are, they're done with that car, whether it be it's got too many miles on it, or it's got some repairs that a lot of people don't want to do. So we get that vehicle and we do our recon method with it, recondition the vehicle as nice as it could be, and then we do a lot of wholesaling at the auction. We bring so many cars to the auction every week, and some of them we keep the really nice, pretty ones for the lot.
Okay.
And I carry about 25 to 30 vehicles on my lot.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was always curious about that, because the one thing I've always noticed, and maybe you can help me explain this, is how come like some of these older cars never seem to have, at least from my perspective, a lot of like dings or dents or chips or everything. But every car I like see driving, like in real life, seems to have these little minor defects. But when you go to buy a used car, a lot of times that stuff doesn't seem to be there anymore. Right. So what's your magic potion for that?
We have access to many resources. A lot of people that do all of that kind of work.
Okay.
Fix and repair interiors, fix and repair bumpers, body work, body shops, mechanics.
Okay.
And then we have, great resources available to get whatever parts we need to fix the car and make it right.
Okay. So it sounds like it's a team of different people, specialties and stuff like that. All that can be repaired if somebody wanted to, like, I got a couple chips on my car. You can actually go get somebody to just take care of that, right?
Yeah. In fact, when I buy a car from the auction, I go through my own certification process. It'll go to the body shop to get the bumper touched up. It'll go to a wheel repair guy if the wheels are curb rashed. We have a guy that comes and fixes and repairs the wheels. We have an interior guy that dyes and fixes leather seats. Just somebody to fix everything.
This sounds like this could almost be a business in of itself. Go get your car, give your car a facelift. Like take it to the spa.
Yeah. Well, my company before was called Anthony's Auto Spa. So
really?
Drop the car off, and we would essentially, make it pretty, make it nice, and give the people back the car.
Okay.
It's a nice little service that we used to offer.
Okay. So you started off, it sounds like you're a typical entrepreneur. You see a need, you fill it, and then you worry about the details later. Yeah. Like when they knock on your door, hey, dude, you can't do this, man. You're like, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But my customers want it. Well, you need a license, so you go, all right, fine, I'll get a license.
Right, exactly.
So now you got this. So when did you start that business back? You went from detailing and then added the cars. Roughly how long ago was that?
That was back in 1995.
Okay, so you've been doing this a little while then. Yeah. So 30 years then, right? Yeah. So then you got the selling. So do you still do the detailing on site as well, or you just do the sell the cars?
Yes.
Okay.
Mainly selling cars, but we still offer detailing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you see the business now? Because I know during COVID, like we saw fluctuations. So what did you see, like 19 and 20 and then 20? So tell me a little bit about the pattern, what's happening in like the cars. I know at one point you couldn't get a car,
right?
Or you couldn't get rid of a car because nobody could leave their house, and then at one point you couldn't get a car because they were all sold.
Sure, yeah. So essentially, I mean, with new car dealerships, there was the challenge of getting new cars,
right?
I.e. parts or issues that came up with the manufacturers. So it left the used car market to thrive in a sense, to do really well, and you were able to, it was getting harder to find those really good quality used cars. But now it's teetering off. It's kind of leveled out now.
Okay.
That COVID's way over, and
right.
We're back to some normalcy, and you're able to get a new car and pay a fair price for it. It's not, some dealerships were charging more money than they were supposed to be new, but that ended. So that's been a good process for used cars too, because it allows us to, sell the used cars for, fair market value,
right?
And have somebody get a really great deal on a used car.
So if I'm a consumer and I'm looking, let's look at two angles. One is I'm looking to go buy a car. Mm-hmm. Like what should I look for? And let's say I'm going to look to sell a car. What should I be thinking about?
Well, I guess most people, when they go to look to buy a used car, they're doing online searches. They're checking Carfax. They're looking up vehicle history. Has it been in an accident before? How was it repaired? Was it a total loss? A lot of vehicles you see. One of the challenges I have as a bonded dealership in New Jersey is there are a lot of people out there selling cars on Facebook and Craigslist and not really disclosing what they fixed on the car and
right.
and not disclosing how the title is branded. And so we like to educate people on.
I've heard this salvage title now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That happened to us where my wife years ago, she had an old Acura, she liked an 88, she liked it, guy rear-ended her, looked like, fixable damage, but it turned out it was literally like a couple $100 over, what do you call it? Total loss, right? Mm-hmm. The valuation.
Right.
We're like, oh, well, I'll give you the $500. Oh, I can't do that. It's going to have a salvage title. Okay. Right. Then my insurance company says, you can't insure a car that has a salvage title, and blah, blah, blah. And so it went on and on. We're like, we finally gave up because it was like, it was going to be literally, almost basically impossible from a financial standpoint to make any sense out of getting the car back so I could actually get it insured again.
Yeah, yeah. And what happens is when a vehicle's totaled, the insurance company sells it off to an insurance auction, and then they dispose of the car through that auction separately.
Right.
They'll sell to other dealers. They'll sell to other people who want to take that project on and fix it up, and then.
Can they ever transfer it back to like a regular title, or do they just part it out and get rid of the parts?
No, it's generally pretty tough to get it out of the salvage title status.
Right.
It's usually sold that way as a previous salvage history vehicle.
So if I'm the buyer of that, I'm looking for the hood and the doors and the. I'm looking for the pieces of the car, not really the car itself as a saleable item.
And the truth is, look, some of these cars are totaled because the insurance company deems it unsafe to drive. It creates structural damage to the vehicle.
Right. True.
Which is something most people would want to know.
I would want to know because people forget that modern cars have these crumple zones. So once you crumple it once, it's not. Yeah. It's kind of like taking Reynolds wrap and saying, "Let's make it smooth again." Yeah. Well, you probably could, but you don't have the equipment to roll it out nice and flat with your hand. It's not going to quite work the way you want it to, right? There's some integrity issues there, right? As far as how it was designed.
Sure, and quite frankly, when we go to the auction and bring our vehicles to the auction, they do a condition report on that vehicle to actually determine if there's any salvage history. Has the structural integrity of the vehicle been demised, and if so, we need to report that in our condition report.
Okay, so when you sell it, you have to disclose this information.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so how do you know? How do you test to see whether or not a car is still like the integrity of this frame? And it's not frame; it's unibody now, right? So if the body itself is safe or not safe. So how do you test that?
I mean, there's certain parts of the vehicle that you look for when you open the hood. You could check underneath. Nowadays with technology, the auction has a process where they have like a really cool camera system that checks everything.
Really?
And so you get a pretty full-on report of what's going on with that vehicle.
So what does the camera do? Does it scan?
Yeah, it scans the underneath of the car.
Okay.
And then you have a person doing a condition report, taking pictures of the outside of the car, underneath the hood,
Okay.
and other areas where structural damage would show up. They look at the trunk area, they look at the underneath the hood, in the door jambs of the vehicle to see, how clean it is.
Okay. Okay. So they have a big long checklist. So when do you decide to sell a car to the auction, and then what determines which ones you take home? Because obviously there's people on both sides of these transactions.
Yes.
Otherwise there would be no auction, right? So
Yes.
there's a buyer and a seller all the time, right?
Yes. So I go, by the market conditions. If I get in a newer vehicle that is too new for my dealership, i.e. like too much money, I'm better off bringing it to the auction to have, another new car store buy that vehicle.
Okay.
Versus me trying to advertise and sell that vehicle. I stick within a certain price range.
Interesting.
With my vehicles, and it's usually like $5,000 to about $30,000.
Okay.
And if I get in a car that's more expensive than that, I generally take it to the auction and let somebody else buy it. I make a profit, and they move on and put it with.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So you have to identify your niche like everybody
Yeah.
else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you're like 5 to 30, and then if it's outside that range, you sell it. If it's otherwise, you're buying them in. So
Yes.
so some people are just looking for the more expensive cars, right? Like
Yes.
a new dealership may not want to sell
Right.
a car that's like $20,000 used.
Yeah,
or something.
I might get in a newer Mercedes that I wouldn't sell on my lot, so a Mercedes-Benz dealership would buy
Okay,
that.
so
car
how
to sell
how
it.
would that come to you? Like, where's that coming from? Somebody sells it? Like,
Yeah, sells it
I
to
just
me.
drive in with my Mercedes and say, hey, you want to buy my car?
I do a lot of estate sales, so I'm in touch with a lot of attorneys that forward me people who are selling cars through
Okay.
the estate. Person died in the estate. The person taking over the estate will call me to purchase the vehicle and alleviate the process it takes to get a clear title.
Right.
Because probate and when you go through surrogates, it takes a long time.
Okay.
So I try to help people and limit the amount of time it takes them to unload the car. Because one of the things that comes up is that they need to sell the house, the biggest asset of the estate, and there are cars stuck in the garage that they don't know what to do with. So I go in and I buy the cars, and I end up, writing them a check, simplifying the process, and allowing that process to become easier for them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Sure.
Take your sip. Okay. All right.
Right.
Right. Okay, that's great. So you're benefiting the estate. I know, those of us who had to settle estates, there's a lot of this miscellaneous stuff you don't really want to have to deal with. That sounds like a pretty good business model to me, where you don't have to, you've got kind of a funnel of the attorneys, and you're basically, so your skill set is getting the title cleared when something has to potentially go through probate. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want a headache.
They hire us, and we.
So you just come in and clean it all up, and so you know the legal process to clear that title really, really well. So that sounds like almost like your niche is what it sounds like to me.
Yes.
Do you do are there other ways you do it? But that sounds like a pretty big market, frankly.
It is, yes.
People are dying all the time.
Yes, unfortunately.
And the kids are probably like, I don't really want mom or dad's car. I mean, most of the time. Every once in a while they do transfer them over, but a lot of times they're like, I have 2 cars. I don't need any more cars.
Yeah, and they want to get the insurance off of it, so they stop paying, insurance on the vehicle.
Oh, that's true. So explain how that works when, like, I have an estate, the car is sitting at mom or dad's house. Let's just use that example. I mean, it's not moving anymore, obviously, right? So can you just do, you don't have to do driving. You have to do just the comprehensive, right? So can they adjust it because it's not moving, or do you wait? Is it better off to wait until they actually get the car to your dealership?
Yeah,
just leave it the way it is.
It's better to wait until.
Just leave it.
Yeah, leave the insurance on it, and then once the vehicle is sold, then I instruct them to take the insurance off of
Okay.
it, and I take over from there, because when I pick up the vehicle, I turn in the plates for them, get them an abstract showing that the plates have been turned in. They're able to take it off their insurance, and then it's technically covered under my insurance.
So it's pretty quick for them. So it's really literally like a phone call, right?
Yeah.
And they're done.
It could be, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Sometimes it takes a little longer, but
To do the transaction itself.
that, and you got to get the other family members on board with.
Yeah.
Mom's
Sign
Lexus
off.
that she was, emotionally attached to. So.
Oh, okay. I get
That's
it.
a bit of a challenge. But.
Right. So they have to. Well, first, I guess that's true. The family has to decide we are going to get rid of mom's car.
Yes, of course.
So once they make that decision, I guess once they make the decision, the actual mechanics of it are pretty straightforward, it sounds like.
Correct, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so any what kind of interesting scenario do you have? Because you have the house, right? So they have multiple cars. So what if I don't know? What if I have like an antique car, like something like one of these collector's items? You ever see that come up?
Yeah,
or like the barn find kind of thing.
Yeah, I recently bought an '88 Mercedes that was stuck in the garage and wouldn't run and couldn't find the keys for it. It's a process that I had to get a locksmith out there, get a key cut for it, got the vehicle started, and pulled it out of there. And then I did some work to it to finally get it running after a while, and now it's on my lot for sale.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah,
an old Mercedes. That's great.
Yeah. And it was interesting because the woman who owned it was in her late 80s. She drove it every day. Always had it serviced. Always took care of it. So,
right.
It just needed to be revitalized. Out of the garage. Sometimes families get hung up on the cars in the garage. I don't know when we're going to sell the house, and it ends up sitting there for over a year. So
the car itself is out there.
The car and a lot of the stuff in the garage.
Right.
For those hoarders out there that take their time to clear it all out.
It takes time, and we were having that conversation. We're on a different episode where we're like, okay, you need to clear stuff out now because your kids, your grandkids, your nephews and nieces, nobody wants 99.99% of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very little stuff they want, and usually you just decide that ahead of time, and the rest of it, just get rid of it because nobody really wants it. Nobody wants furniture. Nobody wants any of that stuff.
Oh, right.
And so
it's interesting. I have a gentleman that was part of my networking group a while back, Walsh Senior Solutions, whom calls me once in a while.
I know.
John Walsh. So
I know John, yeah.
He great guy. And he'll call me and say, look, I'm cleaning out this house. There's a car in the garage. We need it out of here. When can you come and get it? When can you work something out for and it works out really well. So and it helps him too because that car's out of the garage and frees up a lot.
He gets rid of the rest of the stuff that's probably surrounding the car.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good partnership.
Yeah, the first time I heard about that business, I'm like, man, you are going to do really well.
Yeah,
that's a huge need.
Oh my goodness,
none of us want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's a great guy. So, so what are some of the unique things that you face that are different than maybe like a new car dealership, or maybe another used car dealer? So how do you work a little differently than maybe some of those other types of dealerships out there?
One of the things that I really try to pride myself on is just matching the customer up with the right vehicle within their budget, within the scale of what they could afford. A lot of times when people go to the dealership, their credit gets run with several different banks.
Yeah, about 100.
Yeah, and essentially they just get matched up with whatever car that it looks like they could afford.
Right.
Sometimes a lot of people aren't even happy with the car they bought. They buy it because that works within the parameters of my budget. But I don't really like that car. Well, we got you approved, so that's the car you're going to get into. So I try to take a step back and say, what's most important to you in a vehicle, and based off your credit, what can we get you into that's affordable and a great car and it's clean and you have a lot of trust in. So I try to take my time. The banks that we work with and we're partnered with, one of them is a credit union here in Hamilton called Ultra Federal Credit Union. They have when they run credit, it's not to a bunch of different banks. Everything's in house, so their credits, not being jeopardized by being run by.
They do a soft pull, where they're not doing that until they
do a soft pull, and then when the loan goes through, it's
so it doesn't show up as an inquiry until they actually do the deal.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, got it.
So it differentiates us from other dealerships out there who do whatever it takes to get the deal done, no matter what bank. And the cool thing about the credit union we're partnered with is there's no additional money being made in between. The bank quotes a rate. Right. That's the rate the customer's paying. Right. I'm out of it. They give me a check and I'm done. It's not something I'm making money off the financing with, or like other dealerships.
Oh, that's interesting because I know some people that are finance people at other dealerships, and that is the most profitable position at the dealership, literally. Yes. Like by far. Yes. I was like, because I've seen the inside of this thing. I'm like, I knew they did well, but I was like, wow, you guys do really well. So it's like, so for you to tell me that's very interesting. So, Yeah, people don't realize. I remember once, like Ford had numbers years ago, and they said the biggest thing was the Ford finance division made more money than Ford than selling the cars.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting how that all works.
And Ford Motor Credit's a very big bank, and God bless.
It's huge. It's huge. No, I know, but I find that interesting because I guess until you said that, I always assumed that every car dealer basically, was part of the loan process, so to speak. They were all part of it, but apparently not. So what do you do for? I know you have varying levels of credit. Obviously, you have the people that have very high credit scores, over 800, and then you have the ones that are let's say a little bit lower. Maybe they just had, I don't know, a stressful situation, a bankruptcy or whatever.
Yeah.
So how do you address those people that really are having a kind of a tough time, but they still have to go to work?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and that's the
I
problem.
have banks that work with them too. It's just. They're paying a little bit more interest to get their credit rebuilt. But yeah, we're partnered with Westlake Financial, who's an awesome bank that we partner with.
Okay.
And they tend to be very creative in their financing and allow us as a dealer to, put the deal together, have it make sense for both us as the dealer and the customer. So it's a pretty good process for us. And then the people that do not have enough credit, sometimes I do a little bit of like a buy here, pay here process where they buy the car, they put so much down with me, and then they come and pay me directly, on the bank, as long as I agree to that.
Right. Completely understand. So obviously it adds additional risk. Now, is it completely just for you? Are you lending 100% or are you lending with the bank? You're lending 100%, it sounds like, on the buy here, pay here
Yes,
thing.
it's my own money, yes.
Okay. So obviously you want to make sure you get your money back. So what things do you do as a dealer to make sure, because I don't know if you know this, but cars are very mobile and they can end up in like Portland, Oregon or something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like in a couple hours.
Honestly, it's a trust process a little bit.
Yeah.
I really get to know my customer first.
Okay.
Before I decide that I want to loan them my money.
Right. I don't blame you.
And look, they're putting a good amount of money down on that vehicle. It really does behoove them to pay it off with me.
Right.
They have a good chunk of money down on the car. If I have to pick it up for non-payment, they're out a lot of money.
Okay.
They're out their deposit on the car. If I had a car for, let's say, $7,500 and somebody put $3,500 down and I was financing the rest, that's 50% equity they already have in the vehicle. So it pays for them to come in and make the payments on time. Not to say I haven't been stuck a couple times, because I have, and you try to work with the people and be as understanding as possible.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right, take a sip. We'll do number 3, phase 3. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if I'm having a rough time and you buy here, pay here, obviously, one of the things I would want to do is like, oh, that was great, but I think I'd like to lower my payment. So do you have ways to help them like go through the process where maybe they can get the payment down or refinance the loan? Or do you do that? Do the credit unions and the places you work with, can they come in later and maybe help them out? Because right now I need to get the car, I have to get to work. So do you ever help them with, like, explain to them like maybe what they need to do to maybe, this is a little rough payment. Like, okay, but if you do A, B, C, D, here's what you can do. So what kind of how do those conversations go?
Just look, if the payments are made on time for 6 months, we can revisit the opportunity to get a loan with the credit union or one of the other banks, and see at that time, pay off some credit cards or pay down some debt.
Right.
It allows that, boost their credit score, and essentially create an opportunity to finance or refinance a vehicle.
Okay. Now, another thing that I know, my father actually never bought a new car in his life, which I found interesting, because I didn't realize that until I actually started thinking about all his transactions. I go, you know what? Not one car he bought was ever new. He would buy I remember a car we grew up with. It was a car like the dealer's son rejected it with a nice convertible. He decided he didn't want it, but the guy had it for whatever, a week or two. He didn't even have that long.
Right.
So we got a discount.
Yeah.
So knowing I keep my cars like forever. My car currently is 13 years old right now, well taken care of. That's me. My average lifespan is like 16 years. That's because somebody might run into me, but because I know it's a horrible investment financially.
It really
but
is.
I like to get around, and I do like my car.
Right, sure.
So I think the used honestly, the used car route is pretty smart financially, as long as you're getting the right vehicle at the right price. Because I've actually seen instances, and I don't know if you've seen this, where they'll buy the car, and based on what they bought it at, it could actually be worth more 3 years from now.
Yeah.
If they get it at the right price. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah. Some
My car's actually worth more now, depending on what it is, obviously. So what's your experience with that whole dynamic about the used car, the valuation, what it might be worth over time and things like that? So what are you seeing?
Essentially, when you're buying a used car, you're really buying it at a deep discount. Those cars that you buy new, let's say for $50,000, in 6 months, they're already depreciating considerably.
Big time.
So, when you can buy something a year old or 2 years old, you're really cutting off that initial major depreciation, and saving a lot of money. And so, as long as you take care of the vehicle and keep it serviced, it's always going to be worth closer to what you paid for it than as if you were to buy a new car. Now, it's not to say, like, when you buy a new car, if you want to go out and buy a new Porsche right now, Porsche has a hold on the market that when you buy a new Porsche, some of them Porsche models are worth more than when you bought it new a year ago.
Right, but don't they have like a lockout where you can't sell it? If you do, like even these celebrities, every once in a while get in trouble. Like they bought one, you can't sell this. It's like a limited edition, et cetera, et cetera.
Certain models,
we'll never sell you another one ever.
Yeah, certain models for sure.
It's like
for sure.
But that's I think that's the exception, obviously. But yeah, these unique cars that they come out with, these limited editions, sometimes that definitely happens. But when car, as part of your portfolio, I mean, if you do cars correctly, it's actually not as much. So I guess my question would be, if I buy a used car, my big concern is about what about that previous owner? How much did they like beat it up? Right? Were they using it to like jump ramps or something with the thing at the car show? And am I going to see this on a video somewhere? It's flying through the air.
Yeah, I mean,
not a good sign, right?
That sure is a possibility. And at the same time, when I'm vetting cars, I'm really looking for that car that was really well taken care of. I have great connections with.
But how are you telling? I guess that's my question. Is like, how do you tell the difference between one? Is it pretty obvious to an experienced person, or what should the lay person look? What are some tips on what do I look for?
You look for body damage. You look for the wheels being scraped up. A lot of people even with the self-parking Teslas, I noticed half the wheels are smashed or curb rashed anyway.
It's parking all by itself? That's not good.
It sure is.
That's not
by
good.
The feel of a curb. So, you really look at, how the outside of a car, the inside of a car.
Okay.
How was it taken care of? Now, it's hard to say, when you buy a car from a dealership, they're obviously going to have it detailed and reconditioned.
Right.
So you might not be able to tell, but one of the things that helps is a Carfax. You can gauge on a Carfax how often the vehicle's been serviced, how many owners they've had, and you. So
explain to me. I mean, everybody's heard of this thing, the little foxy guy. Yeah. So how does that work? Can you explain to us like exactly how Carfax works? 'Cause I remember when there was no such thing.
Yeah. So it's basically a Carfax history report. You can type in the VIN number to a vehicle. You get to see the year, make, model, the type of engine. Some of them have the original window sticker showing all the options to the vehicle. Okay. And then it has a breakdown of each time that vehicle was serviced, when it was in for an oil change, when it had a tire rotation, whenever it had a tune-up done.
So is this tied into every dealership and every service provider's database? I mean, how can I be sure everything's in there, I guess is my question.
Well, so when you bring the car to if a typical Lexus owner brings their car back to the Lexus dealership and has it serviced, right? Most of that's tied into the database.
That makes sense. But what if I bring it down to Joe's mechanic or whatever? If you bring it to
Joe's corner shop, that's not going to be on there.
It may not be.
Unless he's specifically reporting to Carfax, which, a lot of, the smaller service centers.
Is there any incentive? I guess I'm curious. Is there an incentive to make sure you report this stuff, or do they care? I mean, because obviously the dealers are doing it. They must get something in return, right?
Yeah. It should, the more you report how often you're servicing your vehicle, makes that report on your vehicle, it's like a health report for a car.
Okay. So it helps keep the valuation from the dealership's perspective, they're showing, hey, we're taking care of this car, so it's holding the value of their cars.
Yes.
So that's kind of their incentive, is it keeps that valuation up because you can see the car has been taken care of. So when they go to resell it, oh, okay, you're going to get more money out of it, which means the new cars get sold for more because the used cars are being sold for more, right? So it all pushes kind of up the ladder a little bit. So that's kind of their incentive, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you take care. So you take a look. 'Cause I do remember your story about that. Is that an old landlord trick was if you look at the back seat of a potential tenant's car, that's what your house is going to look like in 6 months.
Right, that's true.
If it's clean, your house will probably be clean. If it's got a bunch of junk in it, that's probably how your house is going to look in 6 months.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, for sure.
So as a buyer, so what? I'm going out to look for a car. So what about the types of cars that are out there? Because obviously lots of different cars, including electric cars and hybrid cars. So what are your thoughts about just the general like brands of the cars, and maybe we have the electric cars and the hybrid. So how are those holding values relative to each other? Any ideas about that?
Yeah, I mean, they're holding value. The hybrid cars are holding really great value because they're offering more gas mileage.
Right.
You know, the Toyota has a great hybrid engine, so you can get, last I heard was like 45 to 50 miles to the gallon on a Toyota Camry that's a hybrid, which my son is now knocking on my door. Hey, Dad, I want a Toyota Camry hybrid because I'm going to get 50 miles per gallon.
That's so funny. That's great. There you go.
Yeah. So, and then the electric cars, you just have to decide if that works with your lifestyle. You know, when you can get 280 miles out of an electric vehicle and know that you have to plug it in after, you just have to make sure that works for your lifestyle. And some people it works for, some people it doesn't.
I'm curious about how they hold value, because I know that it seems like every time I drive by the Quaker Bridge Mall here, there's an awful lot of Teslas sitting there. I'm like, are they? What are they doing exactly?
Well,
I'm trying to understand the model, frankly.
They're pushing their tax credit, I'm sure.
Oh, is that maybe
October 1st or ended September, the end of September.
Oh, is that what that was? So they're just trying to get everything made before that hits, so it qualifies for the credit. Is that what that was all about?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know, because I know some people. I just wondering how the resale value happens if there's an awful lot of. My understanding is demand for the electric ones actually dropped a little bit.
It has, yeah.
Because we're all like freaked out about not having any gas anymore, and now now it's a little more balanced, in my opinion. So I know a lot of people still love them. I mean, I know people swear by them, and other people are like, I'm not really that interested. But the hybrid I keep hearing is like the one people love because it's you get a little of both, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent gas mileage, and it takes a lot of pressure off the motor. So it's a half battery operated, half gas vehicle. So it's great. It's the best of both worlds, honestly. And then people still love their gas cars.
Yeah.
People, some people are just, they don't believe in the electric car. They want to put gas in a car and drive their 300 or 400 miles, knowing that they know how much gas they're using.
Exactly. All right, ready for part 4?
Sure.
Right, here we go. Oh, I'll let you drink first. Excellent. So we talked a lot about the different cars. So which ones have you seen seem to hold their value the best? I mean, is there any how many years, what's the sweet spot? If I'm going to buy a used car, is it 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or does it matter? Or is it any particular brands you kind of lean towards, or you kind of like to have on your lot? You feel like they're pretty good? Yeah,
I mean, my front line is Toyota, Lexus, Honda. Those are my 3 favorites.
Okay.
I have a 2011 or 12 Toyota Avalon on my lot that looks, runs, and shows like a brand new vehicle.
Okay.
And that car will literally be, somebody buys that car, they could drive it for the next 10 years as an investment, and as long as it's taken care of, they can put another 200,000 miles on that car.
Right.
So there are those vehicles out there that were built right, they still are, and they're quality products.
So that's important. So that would be a differentiator, it sounds like, because it sounds like you're very conscious about what you're putting there, because your idea is like, hey, I want this to last a while, because I'm assuming if it lasts a while, they're going to tell their friends, hey, this thing's working out pretty good.
Yeah, I have a lot of repeat business, and the repeat business is after 5 or 10 years. Oh my God, I bought this car from you 7 years ago, and I just got rid of it. And
Okay.
it was still running, and I still got top dollar for it, and yeah, I didn't have to put much money into it.
Right.
But it's it's those quality vehicles that I hunt for, and as soon as I get them, I get pretty excited. And quite frankly, I drive each and every one of my cars.
Okay.
I'll take one home for the weekend. I'll go out to dinner with it. To make sure that it's a solid, vehicle that I can sell to any family or friend member.
So those are great brands. So what about like things like mileage, or what should I look for? Do you have a suite? I know they last a lot longer than they used to. I mean, I remember.
With Toyotas and Hondas, you can buy them with over 100,000 miles on it and not have to be that worried.
Okay.
I have a couple of Land Rovers that that are low mile Land Rovers and Range Rovers.
Right.
But the other thing too is, we offer warranties. I'm partnered with a
Okay,
really
there you
great,
go. Let's talk
awesome
about that. Yeah.
warranty company that covers everything up to and including catalytic converters, which the company is called Omega. I met with the owner of the company. He's a really awesome guy, and
Right.
they stand by their warranties. And it's such a great. They offer the equivalent of a factory warranty on any used vehicle. So it's really. It's sweet. It's a sweet deal for somebody if they want to get the warranty.
So if I come in and buy a car, so what about age? Does it matter? Like how old should if I'm looking for a car, should it be?
Every vehicle's different.
They're different. Okay.
A 10-year-old Toyota is going to be different than a 10-year-old Chevy.
Okay.
So,
So is there any limit you think about? Like, I really don't want cars older than X, or do you
Yeah.
care? I mean, usually there's like numbers. People say, "Oh, I like my cars between X and Y."
I used to say that, but then, I
No?
come across like a unicorn Lexus 2 weeks ago at the auction that I had to have in my inventory. It's a 2002 Lexus
2002. Okay.
2002 Lexus SC430 convertible with only 52,000 miles.
Oh wow.
And I had to have this car, and it was gorgeous. It was like the rare color combination, ivory interior. I almost kept it for myself, but as soon as I put it online, it sold pretty quickly because it was just that special of a car. And
Okay.
with that kind of mileage, that's an investment. That car.
Right. Right.
It's such a quality car, and it was in the most amazing shape, and it sold pretty quick.
Okay.
I got to enjoy it one weekend with the top down, and it sold.
And hopefully it was
during
during the summer, not during in the
it was just
middle
recent,
of in the middle of February.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So really, it's not. So the old adage where you buy it between X and Y years, that doesn't really apply as much anymore. So you're looking more at the quality of the car, how many miles it has on it. So is there any mileage range you like to see your cars in? I mean, let's assume you're buying a good one, like
Yeah.
a Lexus or a Toyota or a Honda or whatever, right?
Yeah, those cars I like to get them, with anywhere from 80 to 150,000 miles on them.
Okay.
And it's based on its history too, because if I can get an older Lexus and give somebody a quality car like that,
Right.
and it not cost them a lot of money, they can buy a Lexus for $5,000 or $6,000, knowing that car is going to last another 5 or 6 years.
Right.
I think they got their money out of it, and it's a great investment for them.
Well,
So yeah, I look for, those cars with specific miles, but I'm also looking at how the car was taken care of, looking at the Carfax. It's like one big picture on each vehicle.
okay.
So it's vehicle to vehicle dependent, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you seeing the market going for the used cars now relative to the new cars? I know new cars, at least I'm not in the market for one, thank goodness, but they seem a little pricey from my perspective. I'm like, you're hearing about cars like hitting like 80, 100 grand for these cars. I'm like,
I mean, look, there's some.
I bought houses for a lot less than that.
Yeah, there's some Jeep Wranglers out there. Jeep Wranglers are climbing up to over $100,000 right now.
I'd have a hard time writing that check, to be frank with you.
Yeah. Well, that's why they offer great financing and
What, 90-year financing now? They do 99-year leases on the car?
7-year financing, and some of those payments, long gone are the days of leasing a vehicle for $300 a month. I mean, unless it's a. I shouldn't say that. There are deals out there for
Okay.
$300 a month. The smaller Hondas or Kias.
Right.
But the money factor has changed over time, especially with COVID and the price of new cars. So now it's just shifted the way leasing is going.
Okay.
leasing used to be an opportunity to get a new car for a better payment. And
Right.
Now it's kind of it's one of those things. If you lease a car, you'll use it for 3 years, and then it's time to give it back. It's not an opportunity to buy the car outright at the end of the lease.
And I know people have been like kind of forced to buy it out because they drove too much, and it's like, I guess I have to buy this car because
Yeah.
the buyout of the lease is just too much.
Yeah.
So they roll it into a loan.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they end up with like 10 years because they did a 3-year lease, and now they have a 7-year loan, right? They end
Yeah.
up with like a 10-year loan on a car, and
Yeah.
like, that seems like a long time to be paying for a car to me, but
Oh, yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah, wow.
That's the benefit of, look, if you find a quality used car from a reputable place, that's really the way to go. You're going to save a lot of time and money, because if you do buy a used car and you pay 3 or 4 years for
Right.
it, you have a nice little asset at the end of that.
So what are some things consumers can look at to make sure they're getting a good reputable dealer? Because used car dealers have a reputation of being used car dealers.
Right, sure. And look, you can go on.
So how do people differentiate?
Google reviews?
Those are pretty reliable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Google reviews, going to meet the dealer, going
Okay.
to talk to the owner of the dealership or the person who's in charge of selling that car, seeing if they're an authentic person.
Authentic person.
Yeah. It's just, can they have rapport with them? Some of these, there are some people out there who are just looking to make a fast dollar. You'll see them all over Facebook. Some of them turn into scam deals.
Right.
And, that's the unfortunate part of that business is, there are people out there just looking to make a fast buck, tell a lie about the car, and then sell it.
Now, what about these private sales that people do? I mean, that seems kind of risky to me. So what are your thoughts about, I know you go to Craigslist and somebody's buying a car. Oh, I got this great deal. Da, 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 da. I mean,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? I mean, I think I know, but what are your thoughts about that, and how should people be cautious? Let's say, what should they do? Avoid them.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
I've had friends and family and stories I've heard of, I went there with this money and, I went to buy the car and it was like flooded out and the guy didn't tell me about it.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, well, did you check anything about it? No, they went off the fact that it's such a good deal. If it's too good to be true, it usually is.
I would have to agree 100%.
Yeah, it really is the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan of those personal and private sales of meeting somebody in an alleyway to go look at a car or a shopping center.
Doesn't sound too good to me.
It's worth it to spend the time and a little bit of extra money if they had to buy it from a reputable dealership, a bonded dealership. I'm bonded in the state of New Jersey, so we have to adhere to certain principles, organizing principles that keep us honest.
Well, that's good to hear, because I do remember there was stories after floods down south where they'd literally ship the cars up north and sell them because people didn't realize that they were actually in a flood.
Right.
They were flooded out.
Yeah.
Because they're like brand new.
Yeah.
But they're a mess.
Yeah.
So,
that's true. Yeah.
So it is important. So it's good to know the bonded. So that's key. So if something does go wrong, they do have some recourse if necessary, but fortunately not. So the reviews are important. Having a good representative to kind of explain like what's what, things like that, and then.
I mean, we come, when at my dealership, we come from a standpoint of educating the people first to make an informed decision.
Right.
I mean, it's not about just buying a car.
Right.
It's about the experience of being happy with that vehicle that you're going to be essentially living out of over the next 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And
Exactly.
driving it every day and putting your kids in that car and making sure it's safe and, checking the tires over, making sure the brakes are good. All these things make a huge difference. And so we walk people through, the cars that we're selling.
Excellent.
The process that we do. We're partnered with the company, the warranty company, to do it's a 6-month Drive America policy, which is it's almost like AAA times 10.
Okay.
Essentially, they get roadside assistance, a lockout service if the vehicle needs brake pads, wiper blades, a battery within 6 months. It's covered.
Okay.
And it's no extra charge to the customer. It's something we pay for to have that peace of mind as a dealership, so that when the customer leaves.
So you can almost get kind of a new car backing.
Yeah.
but it's a used car at a lot cheaper price.
Yes.
So you get a little bit of the best of both worlds,
Yes.
right? Because a lot of the complaints were like, well, if I buy the car, who knows? What if it like falls apart when
Right.
I get it home tomorrow? Well,
Yes.
now you have an answer for that, it sounds like, as an industry,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, this has been fantastic. Any final words or suggestions before we sign off today?
No, I mean, just when you just do your due diligence when
Right.
you're looking for a used vehicle. Just do the due diligence necessary. A lot of times, when people come to visit me, even if I don't have the vehicle they're looking for, I invite them. Hey, if you're out there looking, if I can't find that car for you, if you're out there looking, you see something interesting, call me. Let me run a Carfax for you. Let me help you in the process. Even if I'm not selling you my car,
Right.
at least let me help you to make an informed decision, to not get stuck buying that car that is going to give you issues and create a lawsuit to the guy you bought it off.
Yeah, it sounds like a mess.
Yeah, it ends up, it could be
Yeah.
a mess. For sure.
Great advice. Well, thanks again very much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate
All right.
it, Kurt.
You've been listening to Master Your Finances. Have a wonderful day.